Ujima. Wakiba,
Oh, what up?
what's up? What's up?
Man.
Ujima, how are you
That's all
doing?
Sydney.
Yes, I.
What up?
Awesome. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us?
I can hear you great.
What up,
Fir-
Vinny?
Good, good. First of all, thank you so much for joining. We actually have both VTX studios in the building right now. I'm over
At
here
one
at
time.
Central and you guys downtown. And super excited for this interview. Um, if you guys would be so kind, just give us a little bit of background about Black Circle Symphony and how it got started. And introduce yourselves as well.
My name is Wakiba Julian, and this is Rash Ujima, my mentor. And I remember being like, what was I, 9, 8 years old? 9 years old. My parents had a reggae band called Ross Roots, and they would bring me to the rehearsals. And when they take smoke breaks, I would be like the badass kid getting on the drums, messing stuff up. So Ujima saw me and my friend and was like, yo, you guys are good. Let me teach you something. And he taught me how to play the Afro-Cuban percussion, and then that's it. That's how we got it. Right?
That's awesome. That's really great. So that mentorship started around when you were 9 years old, you said?
Yes.
And how did you get that started off? Ujima, you saw this young youth over here that had talent. And what was your first approach for how to, start to teaching him?
Well, he had that natural talent, so that April of 2000, we started a Friday evening session downtown New Brunswick, where we had access to a loft. And every Friday night at 7 o'clock, we would just meet for 2 hours and go over rhythms and patterns and teach them technique.
Awesome. And was that like a open session, or was it just you guys getting together to play?
I don't even remember it being 9.
It wasn't that so open. What had happened was that April of 2000, I had a gig because I was already an established performing artist here in the city of New Brunswick. And so I had a gig at Douglas Music Center. And Wakiba came in. At that point, he actually couldn't play drums. Yeah. And so after that, we really started the workshop really seriously every Friday night. And after that, literally the next gig, he was on the congas.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Ujima, how did you get introduced into music, and what was your first instrument in some of your earlier experiences playing?
Well, my instrument always been my poetry, and then I went to see Gil Scott-Heron, and Gil Scott-Heron said at Rutgers University, and he said, if you want to be a good poet, you should learn some type of melodic instrument. And so I've always been a little percussive, and so I gravitated to percussion. I started doing the congas and the shaker rays, and then I had this guy, Gregory Taylor. He used to come from Montclair to New Brunswick every Friday night to teach me and my brother Bingy. And he said, man, there's this beautiful school in New York called Jazzmobile. Rather than paying me every Thursday when I come here to teach you and your brother, why don't you just go do an audition, pay a one-time fee, and that's it? And yo, I jumped on that.
That's awesome. That's really interesting. I didn't know that poetry was like your first passion in the artistic realm, but it makes sense because, Black Circle Symphony, one of the things I love about it is it's not just drums, it's not just percussion. There's poetry involved, and education and history and all these different outlets for expressing the art.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. And it's workshop and mentorship. Like as we have known you since either first year in college or senior year in high school. We known Bob since he was in college. We know Wakiba since he's in middle school, his sister, that 15-year-old young man, Julian Nicholas, who came yesterday. Like we've known it, like I've known him
Mm.
3 years already, and I've watched him grow. I mean, like he first performed with us at Deltas actually about 3 years ago, and to see what he has done in 3 years, I was blown away kind of yesterday.
I couldn't believe he was only 15.
Yeah, he
Like
was
he came
grown. Yeah,
sharp, dressed to a T,
hey,
ready to go, professional.
mhm.
He did his thing and he was powerful, you know? Strong voice and just I was impressed. I was
Yeah, so
definitely
was
impressed.
I.
Yeah,
Very impressed.
And like what you're talking about, I mean, it's like that's one of the solid things about Black Circle Symphony. Our mentorship, performance, workshop, and all those other things that you alluded to, you know what I'm saying? And to see the evolution of yourself, Wakiba, uh, Patrick, you know, different people that we've had around us for years is just like mind blowing for me because I didn't know I was that natural a teacher, to be honest.
You are. I mean, I've learned so much from you. Like you said, I probably got involved. Well, I met you in early high school because you
Yes,
were in town in Highland Park and you're
yes.
like planting the seed. And I gotta get, man, respect where respect is due. You care about people and you bring a very good energy, positivity, and you really do. Like you can see your passion. Definitely can see your passion with it, and I gotta thank you for that. It's been great to work with you, and you know, very very great performance yesterday. I was
yeah,
really happy with how that turned out.
me
I can't
too.
remember the last time we got together. It might have been the recorded performance we did for Black History Month celebration. That's online now if anybody wants to go check that out. But there's something special about working with a group or with an individual or with a team over a long period of time. Like you said, you can really see growth and you develop a relationship. It's more than just, you know, the performance or the, you know, the art. It's like a relationship, you know?
So, so, yeah, the consistency, like, that's what really sets you apart from other artists, I think.
Definitely, definitely. Hey, Kiba, let me ask you. So you started out on hand percussion with your mentor over here. At what point did you start switching the drum set?
Well, that's actually a lie. So no,
Yeah, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
He
no,
started
I'm
off on the
sorry.
pit.
I
Part
started on
of
the
my
drums.
ignorance.
Yeah.
No, no, I started like I said, my parents had a reggae band, so whenever they would take breaks, I would just go on the drums. So I
Oh,
was
so
like,
Kit was your first.
yeah, like 5-year-old Kiba was like, yo, what's going on? Let me hit
Yes,
this
he
quiet
actually
summer
got a
for.
birthday gift for his 5-year-old birthday.
Uh,
That's how the drum set came about.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
see, but yeah. So I
Okay.
started on the drums, and
So,
then I remember the transition because I would just remember seeing Ujima a lot. Like I remember being a kid playing outside, and then there'll be this old man always like, "Yo, what you doing? You want to learn this, man? You gotta get down with this. It's about your culture and Puerto Rico and Cuba and there's Africa too and all that." So I learned a lot from him. So I stuck with it, and thankfully, the thing that drew me was the culture because it was something I wasn't learning in school. It was
mm,
something I wasn't learning from my peers. So I was drawn to it. So, it wasn't just me. I had like what, three, four other kids
Yes. There was
playing?
Jun
Like,
Jun
mm-hmm,
Puntin,
mm-hmm.
Kiende Brown.
Yep.
These were other young people, Wakiba's age, that was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Wakiba and his young peers, we had a dub band.
Yeah, we
Like,
had a
yeah, yeah, they were like little kids playing, bro.
It was like, when you go to church and there's like the youth band and like we were the youth. Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing. That's beautiful. Kiba, let me ask you, from learning about the culture at that young age, what are some things that like stuck out to you that you learned that like you took with you for the rest of your life?
Probably my connection to the drums because I guess you can say more. I guess I'm a natural drummer. I didn't need a teacher, even though Eugene was my teacher. I was already
Yeah,
playing the drums,
yeah,
so I didn't have a understanding of why I had a connection to rhythm or patterns, and that it was natural for me. But when I understood, my own bloodline, my own DNA, where my family's from, where these rhythms are from, like it made sense that I had a connection to it. So I said was like, I can't not do it. If it's so easy and I'm practicing this hard, I should keep doing it. Like the consistency thing. So if I didn't meet Ujima, I would have never learned that culture part. I would have probably just been, I definitely would have still been a musician, but I don't think I would have had the connection to who I am with my music. It was more so like I would have treated it as a job or a way to make money or attention or something, which I feel like if I didn't meet you, Ujima, and get that background, I wouldn't have had the substance to be like to feel good, to feel
yeah.
full already. Like I know I offer something to the world that wasn't offered to me as a young person, and I can pass that on because I met someone who could pass it on to me. So it's a craft too. So I got to keep it up, and I'm thankful for you, Gina. If I don't say it, I'm thankful
Yeah.
for you for showing me that. And I try to implement it in everything I do now too. With VTX, the productions I make, I try to put my percussion spin on things. So you know, we coming for the summer 2021 to take over.
Oh
It's
yeah,
starting
for
though.
sure, for sure. Oh, that's beautiful to hear you say that and express your gratitude.
Yeah, bro.
Eugene, I got a question for you. If there's like people that are maybe in a situation where they want to mentor or teach the youth or kind of bring some kind of education or culture into their community, what are some like recommendations you have for like how to approach that?
Well, in 2021, one of the best and probably effective way is just go online, go to YouTube, Google it, and it is so many different people and places that you can learn it from. All you really have to do is be serious, be consistent, passionate, and do the damn thing.
Do the damn thing. That's
That's
right.
it.
Say it.
Straight up. I mean, it's it's no sense in bullshit in life, man. If you want to be a doctor, you can't be studying carpentry, bro.
Mm.
You know, if you want to be a musician, you gotta go get that theory and that practical and put them together. You just gotta focus in on your area, and with that passion, go do the damn thing.
Mm.
That's it.
I feel that.
You just can't lie to yourself. You can't be a musician if you're studying welding. That's just it.
That's true. That kind of makes me think of like the term proactive procrastination, where
Yeah.
you want to play music, but just spend time like reading about playing music or like doing other sort of research, except for actually playing music and doing it because you can't get around the actual time you put in.
You can't get around it. I mean, bro, I put time in. Like, I could be sitting on my bed and I'm fucking doing palm tip exercises right there while I'm listening to the radio, watching TV or whatever. I just, that's just me because I can't be playing my drums, disturbing my fucking neighbor every day, to be
Mm.
honest. So we find
Mhm.
ways to get around it. And I've always done that, man. 30 years of doing that because that same issue is going to come up because, we have a history in Americas where they don't want to hear Africans play that drum rhythms because they feel that we're communicating with each other and we're going to uprise against the slavery system.
Mm.
And that's historical truths, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the whole thing about Juneteenth is the emancipation from slavery. I mean, it's like sometimes we don't want to be honest and look in the mirror at the history of America, but these are things that are really true. But look at what the beauty that we have given the globe: blues, jazz, funk. gospel, reggae, hip hop, merengue, salsa. I mean, like, come on.
The list goes on and on.
It goes on and on, bro. And no matter the category, it's really just African music. The category is just for marketing and sales, literally.
Mhm.
So let me ask you guys, what do you think is something that's so I know for me, there's a few things that aside from just like using your voice and vocalizing, like hitting a drum just feels like so grounding and like powerful. It's just like one of the most, it's like such a deep thing to do, way to create sound. But are there any other things about, you know, African or Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Cuban music or rhythms that you think are like special, um, you know, as compared to maybe some other styles of music or just inherently in themselves?
Well, for me, it was a learning process for me. But I would say the way that something so monotonous can make you so entranced in what's going on is only something that's like inherent in
Mm.
Afro-Cuban, African drum patterns. Like someone could just hit the same drum pattern for 2 hours, and you can look on YouTube. There's videos of people like in trances, passing out, like in the same thing you'll see in probably like a Pentecostal church or something. Like the Holy Spirit, like you'll see people catching the Holy Spirit just from being in drum circles in Africa, and they're playing the same beat for 3-4 hours, not going nowhere. You hear that enough times, it's something that's in you that is connected to that, and I think that's probably the only thing that really keeps me grounded with it, because it's something I can go back to and be like, yo, it's bigger than just me. It's bigger than just like, oh, I want to play a cool beat, or I want to show off that I can play the drums fast. Like, no, like I'm playing a rhythm for a reason, and I'm staying here. It's like it's about the collective, Like I think that's probably
Yeah, I mean, what he's talking about is that teamwork. You
right.
know, I don't know if you can call it like musical community, but it's like the teamwork where everyone have their own individual responsibility. Like, say, for example, imagine if in New Brunswick, because of teamwork, no one littered. Do you think we would have a clean city? Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, and what Kiba just talked about, that spiritual side of the music, um, that stuff is healing, man.
Definitely.
It has some properties that, sometimes people just really want to focus on the entertainment.
Mm.
But I think it's that other side and these other properties that maybe they just didn't want to give credit to people, the originators, because, they wasn't really so human, historically, you know? Because if you give them that credit, that means you're gonna have to pay them royalties for that shit.
That's true. It makes me think of a couple different things. Like, first of all, like I was doing a little bit of drums with you guys at one point, and like locking in, like you said, like I don't know if I ever went an hour, but even after like 10, 15 minutes, if there was 2, 3, 4 drummers, sometimes I wouldn't even know if I was making the sound on my drum when I was hitting it, because the team was just creating this amazing
Yeah.
music together. I'm just like, I got lost in it for a second. And when we're in a culture where like it's so much like boom, 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 like instant gratification, like can you imagine sitting and playing the same pattern for 2, 3 hours like you're talking about,
Right.
when, you know, if you're not used to something like that, your brain can start going after like half a minute. Like,
Yeah.
okay, what's next? But it's like when you really push through that, I do agree. I think it is healing. There's a meditative aspect to it. There's a spiritual aspect to it. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's really beautiful about this type of music.
And really, what's so important, like what Kiba talking about the history, is that this musical heritage didn't necessarily come to us or our generation through music schools.
Mm.
These are like mentorship or, you know,
Person to person.
person to person
Mm.
relationship over generations handed down. It's not like, say, the Africans came to the Western Hemisphere and there was the music school of samba or the music school of jazz.
Mm.
This is just a person to person situation. Like, I don't know if Louis Armstrong went to a music school, training those guys. No, them guys just person to person putting the time in. Yo, I want to play this damn saxophone, man. And they put the time in and they learn from their elders. That's it. I mean, that shit is like, it's, it's an incredible history and an important one because if they have contributed so much to global music, man, we really got to honor these guys, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine these legends couldn't even be respected where they had to walk in the back door of a jazz club. That's fucked up.
That's very fucked up.
That's that.
I mean, look at the legacy, man. Look,
And
not only, okay, forget the legacy.
yeah,
Look at the money they have made these record companies. Let's even go on the business side of things. These guys were packing these clubs that they couldn't even be respected enough to walk in the front door. Yo, you know that Miles Davis was his parents were professional black people. Well, Miles Davis is what they call an uppity black man. All right. So Miles Davis got beat down, bro, like Peter Tosh, with stitches, arrested, because he know he was a real human being and deserved certain respect because his parents were professional. I don't know if they were dentists or they were some type of professional. So he had grown up a certain way. So he always carried himself with a certain dignity. You know what I'm saying? So he he got arrested many times, bro.
yeah. And if anyone hasn't seen the Miles Davis and the John Coltrane documentaries that are on, I think they're on Netflix. They were both phenomenal.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were so good. I really love them.
No, I mean like this heritage and the whole thing of what we're talking about, even related to us as Black Shepherd Symphony, man. I'm so glad that God has blessed me with this natural talent, gift, whatever, intuition to be able to do what I do.
Mm.
Because I didn't know as a young man that I was going to be this at my age, you know? But like, just like Wakiba, I had this natural thing, it's like, I never forget, like, performing August 5th, 1980 at Rutgers, bro. I came out and I was shaking. That's why I always like to share that with people when I perform. Bro, I was shaking in my knees.
Mm.
My knees were weak. And I went home and I couldn't understand why people clapped for me. Because personally, I was a human wreck because I was so scared just to do one little poem, bro. And the fact that people appreciated the words and that little 1 minute in a theater production, I became an addicted individual,
Mm.
not to drugs, but to this music, bro. Just because of people appreciating something so little when I was a personal wreck, bro. I couldn't, my gratitude got lifted, bro.
So did that change your experience on the stage after that, or
Tremendously because it my confidence grew because if I'm feeling weak and people really still love what I'm doing, wow, man, maybe I need to think differently about my performance and
Right,
my whole presentation.
right,
mm.
right.
So my confidence literally shifted in terms of my life from that experience. I mean, like, say for example, even before, I don't even know if Wakiba was born, but this is 1986. Myself, Frank Lacey, and this Rutgers student named Giza and Deja Daniels went to UCLA to perform for the Senior Arts Recital. Bro, professors were coming to see us, and none of us were professors. Professors, it was, this young man was being recruited to the master's program at UCLA, and he got me and Frank Lacey to go with him. Bro, a conga player, a trombone player, and a visual painter.
Oh, wow.
Yo,
That's cool.
we blew UCLA away. We performed for the bachelor's candidates and the master's candidates, and professors from these classes were coming to see our performance because we came from the East Coast at Rutgers University. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience, man. I mean, like, that just blew me away. Because at that point, I'd only been performing like 6 years.
Mm.
But like, that was transformative to know that, you know, people on a whole different side of the world could respect you without even knowing you.
Yep,
It was
that's
so
amazing.
different, bro.
Yeah, you really gotta travel to see that.
Yeah.
You never know, especially in the East Coast. Like, we're so like stone faced and cool.
Yeah.
You know, we'll go to your show, really like you, but won't clap. You know, like,
Yeah.
like very New York in Jersey.
Yeah.
Like,
And also,
You got to be cool.
another thing about here on the East Coast is, you know, Vincent will put out a good record, and the DJs at the local station is not gonna play because they're only gonna play mainstream stuff, even though your stuff is beautiful, bro.
and they know you.
And they know you, and you won't get that support.
Wow.
You're
I never really
absolutely
made it
right,
that far to
Symphony.
try that out, but
Yeah,
I can understand
with
that.
millions of Caribbean people in New York, there's only been like, say, Shaggy and maybe Shinehead that has made it out of that whole Caribbean reggae scene.
Wow.
And
No,
that to me is a result of the lack of support on that side. Because it's not that the musicians are not talented. We're just as talented as somebody in someplace like Jamaica or somewhere else, but the support mechanism is not there. And without a support mechanism, I mean, I don't know if that's because of payola,
Mm-hmm.
you
Could
know,
be.
but it's really that support mechanism. You
Well,
know, that's shameful, but you
yeah.
can travel now and have that wonderful experience like Wakiba did on tour. Or, you know, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to get away from your normal surroundings for that experience.
Yeah, because you could be kind of jaded. 'Cause I know I get bored when I
Yeah.
go to the same bar, restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, you really gotta like leave thousands of miles away to see what people are like. It's like, I don't know. When I went to Germany, they told me that I was going to Hitler's old like stomping grounds in Cologne.
Wow.
Like, the ground was still cobblestone. You know, my hotel had cobblestone around it. Like, it was like the whole bomb center. Like, it was all bombed up and they rebuilt it, right? So I don't know what to expect, but I've never been treated more kinder. Like, I went to the closest bar by my hotel, and I didn't know what to expect, but it was a heavy metal bar, right? You can see like a pentagon, like right on the pentagram, right on the door, right? So I'm like, oh my god! And I opened the door, it's like loud, heavy music, like long hair, gothic dressed dude. I'm like, oh man, I'm by myself, like whatever. Just want a beer in Germany, you know, want to hold the mug. And then I walk in, I give $5, €5. I get a ticket, and that ticket is good for a drink, and the drink is like a huge pint, you know. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then everyone can notice or tell that I'm not from there, and they're not doing like in New York or L.A. where they'll be like all snobby. They're all like, oh my god, he's not here for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Not why, like, why is he black? Like, you know, if you feel like that in South Carolina, maybe not, no disrespect, but you know, it's not like I didn't feel like why am I black? I felt like, oh, they really want to know what's up. Like, where am I from? Like, why am I here? What am I doing? they're genuinely interested in you, not because of any race or racism or agendas. Like, no, like, I'm not going to see you. Like, you're an alien to me. Like, I can tell just by your dress, by your demeanor, that you're not a German. You know what I'm saying? And they were so kind to me for it. I got, like, even, I had to figure my own ride back to the train station from my hotel room, right? From Cologne to Berlin on my phone, right? Just me and the keyboard player. We had to figure it out. So we're lost. So we're walking to the bus stop, we think, and then we see a random woman. And like in New York or Jersey, you see a random woman on the street. She's beautiful. She's probably getting catcalled. She's used to just like, shutting it down, maybe keeping it moving. If, whatever, she might give a smile or whatever, but she's keeping it moving, right? This woman looked at us, stopped, turned, asked us where we were going, where we were from. Wow. And then proceeded to walk us all the way to the bus stop.
Wow.
And it was like a sightseeing because we were on her way where she's walking. She's like, nah, where you going? You're from New York? You just played Summer Jam, the festival, the reggae festival? Oh, okay. Yeah, where you need to go? All right, I'll walk you. And she knew English in her accent. She wasn't snobby. She was a beautiful, like, black woman who looked mixed. She was a German woman who was a black woman. Looked mixed, maybe whatever. But, like, it was exotic to us, and we thought we were going to talk to her. I literally thought she was going to ignore us, but she walked us all the way to the bus stop, bro. Like, I would never experience that in New York or Jersey. Maybe I wouldn't say never, but I wouldn't expect to.
That seems rare. And that's only more reason why it's important to travel and see different parts of the world, because you might be surprised. Like, you had that, going into that heavy metal bar, like, oh, damn, what am I about to get into? But it was just like, here comes this reggae guy walking into this totally different scene.
Right.
And they're like, yo, what's up? Like, where you from? How's it going? That's really cool, man, that you had that experience.
Drinks and all that. Like, all right, cool. What's up?
That's really awesome. Yeah, so everybody out there, traveling comes highly recommended, for your life and your experience, for sure. Let me ask you guys to wrap it up. What can everybody expect this Sunday on VTX Live?
You tell me, Tino.
Some more beautiful Afro-Caribbean rhythms. Good at, say, 20 half minutes of beautiful music. Just beauty, man.
Yeah.
Beauty. I mean,
that's awesome. I would like to see, a lot of the Black Circle Symphony gigs we've done have been like, kind of shorter performances, maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes, but we really do have an open platform, and it would be cool to like see if we stretched out a little bit where some of that stuff went and try some different things.
Right.
Yeah, well, especially because, I mean, actually, we're going to be having the great Vinny Troiani and saxophone. So, that dude going to be stretching out, son.
Hey, tell him about it.
It ain't Charlie Parker, but he's going to be out.
Very excited for that. Great. Very excited.
I'm excited too, man. And like, it's great to have the platform to do this, to, show the culture that I was shown. So I'm coming here to chop it up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Blah, 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 blah. That's what I'm doing. So look forward. Sunday, tune in. What is it, 8:30? What are we doing?
It's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Big shout out to everyone who subscribed to youtube.com/VTX Studios. That's where we do our live stream from. It's every Sunday at 8 p.m. This Sunday is going to be Black Circle Symphony. We have Professor Bob Ramos joining us. And Ujima Wakiba. Martin X just tuned in. He's going to be our host with the most.
Yeah, what up?
Holding it down. And I thank you guys for joining me on this interview. It was awesome, and we'll continue it a little bit more after the performance on Sunday. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Stick out over there.
Big shout out to New Brunswick and Highland Park, son.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
VTX Studios. Peace out. See you Sunday.
That's it. Peace.
Peace.